Hello, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Ber-Henda Williams, and I'm the founder of Culture Shift Hers Unite, the podcast Soul of a Lead Her for she who lives and works from the soul, and the Ber-Henda Williams Show. And I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We're going to get into the fourth code, which is about compassionate boundaries. But before we do that, family, I want us to take a moment to really settle into our bodies, settle into presencing, because a lot needs to be witnessed right now. So let us just take a moment to breathe together. So taking a deep breath, hold it, and drop it. Deep breath, hold it. And last time, deep breath, hold it, and drop it. And just relax your shoulders. Take the tongue from the roof of your mouth. And let's just be present in this moment and witness. Roll your shoulders back, roll them forward, take them up to your ears. Take your shoulders up to your ears and drop it. And let's just wiggle our toes, wiggle our fingers, stretch if you need it, to the right, center, to the left, center, peel, and peel. And wherever you are, just know you're right where you need to be. There's no place for you to rush off to. We're just present here. We're present here together. We're present in this moment. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and slowly and gently, when you are ready, open your eyes. And if you need to cycle through that again, I welcome you to pause this video. Pause it, breathe, get a drink of water, place your feet firmly on the ground if need be. When we want to center, you can place your hands on top of your thighs to ground more. You can turn them up to receive more. So this is your moment. This is really the time and space for you. If you have no other place on the internet that has allowed you to become more present, more still, more inward, and more grounded, please take that time here. So like I said, I am not going anywhere. You can press pause, come back and cycle through again so that you feel more grounded and more aware. Because what we're not doing today, we're not rushing, we're not fixing anything. We are using the faculty of discernment today. And to practice that is stillness. In order for us to get more discerning, we absolutely have to become more and more present. And this teaching is part of an ongoing teaching today, which is a formation series called the Culture Shifters for Soft Power Formation. This series is all about leading, listening, but without reproducing any of the violence and urgency and domination or depletion that we see in the empire. And if everything right now feels like it is breaking, it is eroded, it has devastated you, this might be because something more honest is begging, has made itself present, and is requiring all of us to pay attention. Because this emergence that we're seeing, this is part of the divine design. The old world is passing away, and something more honest, more true, more whole, more welcoming is asking to be birthed in its place. So we must name the moment. What we're witnessing across faith communities, institutions, leadership spaces, even in our own families, right? Blood families, families of origin, is often described as chaos. But I want to offer a different name and a different frame. This is not chaos, this is correction. And opposition is opposing the correction, which then appears as chaos. What is collapsing now is not belief. What is collapsing now is depletion masquerading as devotion. The empire, whether religious, political, or economic, has depended on urgency, overexertion, and the quiet agreement of good people to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. Do it for the greater good, the good of all. And sadly, we've also seen this show up in places like education, in our nonprofit spheres, that we must give, burn our candle at both ends to do good work. And we're doing it, right? In service. This is all in service to humanity. But see, the empire has a very insidious way of showing up, even in the most noble of works. And we want to talk about that a bit today. And that burden has landed squarely on the backs, heavily on women, but very specifically Black women, on caregivers, culture carriers, and those of conscience, the holders of great space. And what I would also like to name is just a quick formation recap, because we talked about a lot of this, but it's all kind of culminating here in the fourth code. So we talked about sacred listening, not listening to respond, but listening to receive, because you cannot build a humane leadership on extraction. We don't pull out stories from people. We don't extract their lived experience from who they are. We honor what they offer. Code two was emotional maturity and spiritual awareness, because leadership that has not regulated or has not been regulated will always confuse reaction with revelation. Real power is regulated power. Code three, cultural reverence. Not saying inclusion, but practicing belonging, not welcoming people by erasing them. We honored identity, ancestry, and the systemic realities that exist and that are shaping the lives of people, and all under sacred context. And so here's the truth: you cannot practice sacred listening, emotional maturity, and cultural reverence without boundaries, which brings us to code four. I know we hear the word boundaries tossed about in our lexicon. We hear it a lot in spaces where there are people who are doing the mighty work of caregiving, of leadership, of supporting others. You know, boundaries, you must have boundaries, healthy boundaries, right? Or one of my personal favorites, the velvet hammer. But at Culture Shifters Unite, when we talk about this as a soft power leadership skill, or leadership that does not deplete or require disappearance, what we are talking about is compassionate boundaries. And this is not withdrawal, this is discernment. Soft power is not self sacrifice, it is care that goes both ways. In practice, compassionate boundaries may look like saying no as an act of stewardship, creating policies and rhythms that do not burn people out, protecting humanity before urgency. This isn't disagreement, this is devotion with wisdom. So, this is understanding that if we want to work toward a 4-day work week, for example, right, to honor one's full humanity, that we may have to practice a good example of stewardship by saying no, by resisting the urge to make everything a priority, to make everything urgent, to not just delegate, but trust the team that we have around us. And we can do that by using our intuitive faculty, by using discernment so that we can hear what's not being said. And so when we talk about the deconstruction and the empire collapse, this is why many people are really re examining their inherited theology, their leadership models, and institutional loyalty right now. Because deconstruction is not rebellion, it's honest discernment. The refusal to keep confusing exhaustion with holiness. The empire begins to collapse when people stop offering themselves as fuel, and something quieter but more sustainable emerges in its place. So, if you are feeling the burn and you're feeling the need to slow down, to really sit with what you're saying yes to, you're starting the practice of protecting your body, your spirit, your time. Time is an even more precious commodity than money, right? Because money can be replicated. You can always go out and make more money, but you can redeem a dividend. You can't redeem time. You're not feeling at your leadership, you're maturing in it. You don't lead from depletion. That's not where we start. That is not where we start. That is not where we start. We do not start depleted. We lead from devotion. And when you're clear on your priorities, not even just your priorities, when you are clear on your values, and the only way we get clear on our values is if we are clear on who we are, not who we're doing, but who we are being. And this is all the crux, the root, if you will, for code 4 of our culture shifter soft power formation. So as I close, I hope that this teaching does resonate with you, not just code 4, but all of it. I hope that it stays with you, and it creates something for you to chew on when you think about your own lived experience, your leadership, your theologies, your belief systems, and just everything that we're witnessing in this hour, right, as human beings. The rampant abuse of ICE, the multiple genocides that are still unfolding on our planet, our overrun and depleted educational system, the massive layoffs, particularly of Black women in government. We have to take a moment to pause because we're in an ache right now. And in an ache, the very first thing that we may do is feel like we are dazed and we begin to disassociate. But the reason why today specifically I wanted us to breathe, breath helps bring us back to our bodies, bring us back to ourselves. So as I share this deeper formation work and extended reflections, I want to invite you all to, um, you know, leadership circles and retreats that I host. These formations all happen on my Substack. Paid subscribers directly help to support this work and receive access to teachings that don't go live on social media. And if your organization or community is exploring what it means to be more humane, to be more ethical in leadership, and what it looks like to pause and to breathe and to recalibrate, I invite you to DM me, to message me here on LinkedIn, and or go to my website, berhendawilliams.com. Definitely, of course, on my Substack. But take what you need, rest where you are, and trust that your soul is growing and you're following your own evolutionary pathway because more is unfolding. And you were born for such a time as this. But I want to make sure that I am here to support you in that soul growth and that evolutionary pathway. All right, beloveds. Well, that is all I have for this week. I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback. If you have missed any of these teachings, they are available on YouTube. They're inside the Culture Shifter Codes for Soft Power Formation archive. So you can download them, watch them at your leisure, play them back, and I hope above all, you share them with a friend. All right. My name is Ber-Henda Williams, founder of Culture Shift Hers Unite, the Ber-Henda Williams Show, and the Soul that will lead her, the podcast for she who lives and works from the soul. All right. Until next time, friends, I will see you all soon. Have a great one.